Hello world, Shelly here, and it's time for another episode of Foundation Fest. And today I am checking out from Tom Ford the Traceless Soft Matte Foundation. Yes, I'm cheating. I got a sample pack, and one of these shades looks like it'll work for me, so we are going to try it out. This one retails for $88 for 1 ounce of a product. It comes in 40 different shades. It's described as a long-wear foundation infused with hyaluronic acid and light diffusing microspheres for a blurring effect and a skin-like matte finish in 40 shades. It's described as being good for normal, dry, combo, and oily skin, so the whole gamut of us. Hyaluronic acid, it's got antioxidants, vitamin C and E, caffeine to treat your complexion all day with ultra comfortable wear, soft focus microsphere powders, diffuse and blur light, no sulfates, SLS, SLES, no parabens, no formaldehydes, no formaldehyde releasing agents, no phthalates, no mineral oil, no retinol palmitate, no oxybenzone, no coal tar, no hydroquinone, no triclosan, and no triclocarbon. I didn't know we needed all those no's, but apparently we need to say no, no, no. It says it stays color true up to 10 hours, resists fading, traceless, soft focus, yada yada, still looks like and moves like skin, feels smoother over time? Don't know what that means. Even after, what? Even after foundation has been removed. Alright. Humidity and sweat resistant, dermatologist tested, non-comedogenic, and designed for all skin types. I mean, what else can you say for 88 bucks? This thing better cook me some dinner too. Let's take a look. I am going to use the shade Fawn, which is described as light medium and for olive skin tones. Now, I've always been a little curious if I'm actually an olive undertone because of things like CY0101 and the Misha 21 with the gray undertone working so well for me. This is not the lightest shade. There's actually shades lighter. This is 0.5 porcelain, and then just for your reference, they've also provided sepia and mocha in the sample pack here. Now, I would say there are a far many more light shades than there are dark shades. There's like every variation of a pale undertone you can imagine, and only a few variations on the deep end, so that's disproportionate. But we're going to try 4.0 Fawn. The risk is that it'll be a little too dark for me if light medium is actually an accurate description, but from what it looks like, I think we're going to be alright. Let's take a look at this one swatched against a few others in my collection. Swatch time. First up is today's foundation from Tom Ford, the Traceless Soft Matte Foundation in shade 4 Fawn. Second, I've got from Estee Lauder, the Double Wear Stay in Place in 1C1 Cool Bone. Third up is MAC Studio Sculpt in NW15. Fourth, I've got the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator in Light. And last, I've got from Misha, the Perfect Cover BB Cream in 21. I have already cleansed, moisturized, and sunscreened this 46-year-old face. I have primed with the Wet n Wild Impossible Primer, and I will go in on one side of my face with a damp sponge. The other, I've got my Wangos 01 brush. We will see if there is a preference one way or the other. Let's take our little sample here, and I'm just going to dab some out. I am getting a bit of a scent, as most high-end foundations seem to do. Why? I cannot tell you. I guess it's luxurious to put added fragrance on your face. This is one of those that seems like a little bit goes a long way. It is a little too dark for me, but not too much. And considering this is like number 4 in their shade range, there's a lot of variation in the light end of the spectrum. So it's good for us pale people, I suppose. This is, I would say, light medium coverage. Like light, I should say medium light. The medium end of light coverage, I would say right off the bat. I can still see some sunspots poking through, but it does balance redness pretty quite nice from one side to the other. That applied quite nicely with a sponge. Let's try the brush side. I cannot tell a lie. This stuff goes on smooth as butter. It is definitely a nice fluid formula that just kind of veils over everything quite nicely. I don't feel like it's sitting on top of the skin anywhere. I do want to attempt to build it up just a little bit on my sunspots and on my little blue blood vessel over here, and get a little more redness coverage on my chin if I can. But the consistency of this, it feels a lot more fluid than a typical matte foundation as it applies, and it just spreads and blends quite easily, which is quite nice. I didn't mean to take it quite so far up under my eye, but there we go. I do feel like we are getting buildable coverage. My sunspots are fading away into obscurity, which is where I like them. The soft focus of this one is really kind of remarkable. I do really enjoy how smooth my texture and pores are looking. They are definitely looking blurred, even when I look in the 10x here, which that's kind of wild. Let's zoom in and take a look at this one. It looks really pretty on the skin. I would definitely call it a matte finish, but it's not flat. You still get the dimensional sort of diffusion of light as it bounces back off of your skin. It's just a tiny bit clinging to a couple of tiny little dry patches that I have around my upper lip and around my mouth, and it's clinging just a tiny bit to a little flakiness on the bridge of my nose, but it's not bad. And otherwise, I mean, everything looks phenomenally smooth. Matte foundations on me tend to accentuate my smile lines, my little Meredith Grey wrinkle, my forehead lines, and at least at this point, it's not doing any of that. It definitely seems to be smoothing things over, but with a matte finish, which is kind of like the ideal matte. If you have to ask me, I don't want to look dry. I don't want to look dehydrated. I just don't want to look shiny when I want matte. So I'm actually very pleased with the finish of this right off the bat. I'm kind of shocked. Of course, I picked a day when the pollen count's through the roof to do a medium coverage look on my face. So if I have to blow my nose, well, we'll see how that goes. Let's check the time. It's 11:40 a.m. Let me go put the rest of my face on. I will be right back. Back with the Tom Ford. This is beautiful. I hate so much that I'm saying this right now because the price tag is so high, but it's beautiful. I don't know. I didn't have to set it with powder. Everything. I mean, look at the blending. Like, everything blended amazingly. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to I should say I'm sorry to myself because I might have to actually pay the full price and get the whole bottle. Oh my gosh. It's hard to find matte foundations that look good on dehydrated skin. It just really is hard to find. We'll see how it wears. We'll see how it wears throughout the day. It's off to a good start though. To the point where I'm almost like, whew, breathe, oxygen to the brain. Whew, yeah. Let's talk about the rest of my face, shall we? No surprises here. I've got the Wayne Goss face palette in light gold is the shade name. The contour shade is perfection for fair skin. Clarins Jolie Blush in Cheeky Baby. Natasha Denona Super Glow is my highlight. I am wearing on my eyes, Ulta Beauty did a Gilmore Girls collaboration, so I had to pick up some of it because I love Gilmore Girls like a lot, a whole lot. I am wearing the I'm the Rory to your Lorelai palette, and they also have the I'm the Lorelai to your Rory palette. And they're very, very similar. This one's got a little bit more rose tones to it. They're both quite neutral. The mattes blend beautifully. The shimmer shade is a little bit chunky and a little bit thin. Not as buttery or opaque as I would like, but still pleased with how everything turned out. I think we're doing well. My mascara is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lash Brag. I'm also trying for the first time beautiful packaging. ColourPop Glossy Lip Stain Fresh Kiss. This is the box it came in. The shade I'm wearing is Flower Lust. I literally just put it on my mouth. Where did it go? Here is the product itself. A little more pink than I was expecting, but it's still a little bit tacky. I'm hoping that it dries down like a stain where it won't rub off on my mask, because I do have to go to work today, and we will see. So I will come back in a bit with a daylight check-in, and I will come back tonight, give you guys my final thoughts. Hey guys, we are about 4 hours in on this one, and I just got a good look at it in the bathroom. Still looks pretty fantastic. I just finished teaching class, so I have a little bit of the natural flush that comes with my yapping so much, but I think we're still looking quite smooth. I feel like potentially a little bit is worn off my nose, which is where my mask sits primarily. You know, I keep it, you know, right about there to cover my nostrils, but I'd still say it's holding up pretty nicely. What do you guys think? Let me get this hair out of the way. Still have hair. Oh my goodness. For a matte finish, I think it does have some reflect to it. Not my highlighter, of course, but like I don't have any highlighter on my forehead. I'm gonna step into some sunlight, and it's gonna be bright, but at least you can see how it looks in blazing late afternoon sun in Virginia. Oh, that's hot. That's a hot sun. That is a hot sun, you guys. I think it's looking nice. That's where we're at now, halfway through. I will catch up with you guys tonight. 11:29 p.m. That puts us right around the 12-hour mark. Let's take a look at how my fancy sample of the Tom Ford held up. I was so sad that I couldn't get any way to like save my leftovers to wear it again. I didn't have time to find a bag, and oh, I'm just so sad because I might buy this one, you guys. 12 hours? Now I will say, I don't think it's fully matte on me, but that seems to be the case with several different matte foundation formulas that say they're matte. The one that comes straight to my mind is the CoverGirl Matte Made. Totally wears like a satin finish on me. And I would say this wears like a satin finish on me. It didn't get dry over time. I love a satin finish, so it's not a bad thing to me. If you're expecting the less luminous matte, it's not wearing that way on me. It might be a function of the primer that I'm wearing underneath it. It's not a luminous primer, but I like the finish. I'm pretty doggone happy. In terms of how it has worn, I think it's worn really well. I am missing a little coverage on the end of my nose, which I'm thinking is primarily from mask wearing. Also a little bit on my chin, but you guys know I always lose coverage on my chin. Masks or not, I don't know what the deal is with my chin and what it's doing with its body chemistry, but whatevs. It's got a mind of its own. But what I want to point out, look at the blush bronzer highlight contour situation. If I get my Elvis hairs out of the way here. It's still fully there, you guys. Like, on point. Didn't even move under the mask. And you know, the mask cuts me across my face, like right here. I mean, it's pretty brilliant, I'm gonna say. I'm pretty impressed. Let's zoom in and take a look. So, like I said, I've lost coverage around my chin, around my mouth a little bit, but it has just disappeared. There's no product moving around, nothing nothing settling into lines at all or settling on texture. Like, I feel like nothing has moved. Like, it stayed put really well. I'm just looking up close at my blush and my contour and my bronzer and my highlight, and it's all just exactly where I put it in its proper intensity. I'm really impressed with the longevity. My forehead looks good. I don't feel like it's accentuating any micro wrinkles or anything. In terms of hydration, I'm going to call it slightly hydrating. I don't think it's super duper hydrating. It doesn't claim to be. And it's not dehydrating. My skin does not feel dry. It does not feel tight. I'd call it slightly hydrating. It's hydrating enough to keep up with my dehydration state as I quickly lose hydration throughout the day in my skin. So that's fantastic for a matte formula, or one that claims to be matte anyway. I mean, I'm turning my head back and forth because I'm watching how it looks on the monitor, and then I'm peeking over here in my 10X, and I hate that I like this so much. Because $88, but my birthday is coming up kind of sort of soon, and I usually do get Sephora gift cards for my birthday. So maybe that is what I'm gonna get for my birthday. I don't know. I think it's highly possible because I really like this. I really like it. If you needed to guess what grade, I feel weird because I don't have a bottle to hold up, and this thing is just weird. But if I had to give a grade to the Tom Ford, I mess up the name every time. You don't know how many times I've refilmed this saying the name out loud. Traceless Soft Matte Foundation. I'm going to give it like a mid-A. Like, for matte and dry skin, I am so okay with this. I'll probably get, so they do list all the colors, all the shades on the back here, and see how many there are in the lighter end of the spectrum. You know, the camera focused so nicely, and then it decided not to. I think this shade is just a smidge dark for me for the rest of the year. Like, I can kind of see where I stopped bringing it down my neck. But what shade will I get? I don't know. There's so many in the pale end. 2.7 or 3.5. No, maybe 3.5. Those are the ones I'm probably going to look at first. 2.7 and 3.5. Vellum and Ivory Rose. I think that's what I will check out first. Does anyone know if Sephora's doing samples again? Maybe I'll drive over the mountain, go to the big Sephora in Charlottesville, because I doubt my little JCPenney Sephora has Tom Ford. Probably not, right? Maybe I'll drive over the mountain if they have samples that I could try. Sadly, I love this one. There you have it. Another episode of Foundation Fest is in the books. If you like foundation reviews, if you had fun with this one, give me a thumbs up down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.